According to Statistics Canada, there is a rise in violent crime in this country. What should the federal government do about it?
In terms of the rise in violent crime in the country, I think it's a byproduct just in terms of there's a number of factors that go into it, but I think one of the key ones is just people not having the resources they need to live a productive life, from housing to just food insecurity to a whole pile of issues, I think, that lead to that, eventually can lead to violence, and untreated mental health issues as well. Like, I think it's not one simple answer.
I'm not sure that the federal government can really do much about the rise in crime. It's going to have to be more at a local level, municipal, provincial level. The feds don't understand what's happening on the ground in Halifax every day, the gun violence we have downtown, the problem with crime on the streets. Homelessness is a huge part of crime. We can't seem to even start to attack that. It's atrocious right now. So there's a lot of factors that impact the crime rate, and I don't believe at a federal level they understand what we need.
I think making sure that people are well taken care of, providing access to food, shelter, affordable housing, making sure that people's base needs are met so that they're comfortable and hopefully have enough comforts to make life easy enough.
You never see a policeman on the street anymore. When I was young, there were police everywhere. I mean, they weren't bothering anybody, they were just there. And they were a presence, and it discouraged a lot of stupid crimes. And if they can't do that, then they have to make the punishment more severe.
I think a lot of crime, at least from what I've seen and experienced around my area, a lot of it is monetary. I think the economic situation here in Nova Scotia is, it's really bad. I think there are a lot of people who struggle, and that's why crime has picked up in that way.
I think stiffer penalties, longer sentences, that sort of thing. That's really what you got to discourage them somehow.
I guess you need to look at which levels of government are responsible for various parts of crime. I don't think you can park it at any one level of government. I think for the most part it's provincial and municipal that need to look at how they're policing, how they're policing, what information they're using to help prevent violent crimes.
I think we should seek and find out why. Right, let's find out why, and then hopefully we'll react in the right way accordingly. I think if people are looking for one button to press to say this is what's going to fix it, we're not going to be able to find it. It's got to be a multitude of things that we have to address.
Okay. I agree. I also agree with looking into more mental health programs.
Definitely.
And ensuring that people are getting the help that they need so that we're not seeing such an increase in violence.
I mean, I could say more police, I could say more funding for security, and that's where I think we need to go. I think it's also citizens being mindful that we need to look after one another, in my mind, because we've lost our givingness or our compassion for humankind. I feel a lot of people. So I think we all need to do our part.
Oh, that's too general. I think you have to look at it region by region. What's the cause of the rise? And the rise is a symptom of deeper issues, and the deeper issues need to be addressed. So studies done as to why there's a rise. That's the first step, and you work from information, not just from there's a rise, react to that.
I think security and policing is community-based when it can be, and perhaps injections need to be made at different places.
I'd want to know how those statistics were gathered. Generally, I tend to be a bit skeptical about statistics that are telling us that society is constantly becoming more dangerous, because I've read other stuff that indicates the opposite. So I would avoid any extreme measures. Maybe not to sound paranoid, but it might be more of a manufactured crisis than a real crisis?
I think it'd be good to just support like a law enforcement a little bit more funding for the law enforcement, and perhaps even some stricter punishments with people, who sort of go into our jailing system, and stricter times for them, perhaps to like a little bit harder for them to kind of get parole and come back, particularly if they're like repeat offenders.
And I really don't believe that crime is any different today than it was years ago, other than the fact that because of the media and social networking, that we're hearing about things that have existed for a long time. And I think it's something that we don't condone, obviously, but it's something that we shouldn't be blowing out of proportion just to make the news and make frightening comments.